Hello everybody and welcome back for what is, I guess, the beginning of Sundays in the Dungeon and studio, as it turns out today. So yeah, let's just get right to it and take a look at what's growing here. Got quite a few peppers to go through because I'm trying to make a list today, so yeah, let's go. Up here in the studio, of course, we've got the sand dollar taking up as much space as it wants. I think I'm going to trim this back a little bit for winter, so that its canopy's not so, well, far-reaching, because there are other plants in here that need some light too. Down on the bottom we can see these peppers are just doing fine with the transition. This billy goat, it's got plenty of new life, little flowers forming on it already for me. There's at least half a dozen on there, so that's exciting. This was a very cute looking little pepper. And that's the ghost from out front. Very few leaves have fallen off of this since it's come inside. Plenty of new growth. I still haven't hit this studio with the garlic spray yet. So there are a few aphids on there right now, but I don't think they're going to last for long. And then yeah, back over there on the other side, we've got the upstairs weary pepper. Some nice color on those cute little peppers. And again, it seems to be transitioning fairly well, so I'm very excited. Looks good as far as the start for adding a few more peppers to the studio collection. And it definitely looks like when the peppers are not necessarily transplanted to go in and out, they do a lot better. So maybe next year I'll put this monster outside after all. Just don't know. So coming down into the dungeon garden, I think this is the fullest and the neatest, like the most organized I've ever had this thing. So yeah, so far things are coming along really well. I'm very impressed for the most part. There are a couple of concerns and obvious exceptions, but look how well some of these things are doing. Clearly the Trinidad Congo is struggling to convert to its new lifestyle, but behind it there, the big sun habanero, it looks pretty happy to me. And that Chinese 5 color may have lost all the leaves it came in with, but plenty of new ones on there, so I think it's going to do just fine. Might trim it back a little bit over the coming weeks, not sure. And then up here we've got the Antoi Sweet. Again, this is doing great, actually. I don't think it ever looked this good outside, so it can stay in here, I think, and just be perfectly content to do so. Got one of the varieties of the Ahi Pennick there. A lot of peppers on it. Hoping to see some color in those, but the plant itself is transitioning incredibly well. The chocolate habanero beside it. Got one fruit there that looks like it might be starting to turn, so that's exciting. Never had a chocolate habanero to play with, taste, any of that jazz, so yeah, I'm very glad they're all transitioning so well. The Ahi Pennick here, plenty of fruit on it. I might need to clip those back just to help this plant along, but aside from some curling up of the leaves, which I suspect is a deficiency of some kind, seems to be doing alright. I do need to change out the nutrient solution in this hydroponic garden. I just, well, honestly, haven't gotten around to doing it yet. Beside it, though, got all the transplants and such in the soil. Let's go through those. Clearly I still need to rearrange so I can get through here better, but this garden salsa is doing fantastic. So many fruit on it. None of them are really dying off. We've got one here that's starting to take some color. Got a fresh flower there, so I'd say it's pretty happy with being moved inside. Jay's Peach Ghost Scorpion here. Again, almost looks better than when it was outside. Nice solid plant. Good wiggle. I'm not seeing too many, didn't see any leaves fall off there. You guys can let me know in the comments if you saw some in the clip. We've got here, this is the Sugar Rush Red. Still not seeing any red on that, but awful lot of fresh green. I'm thinking most of these plants, if not all of them, are going to make it through. Very exciting to me. This is the ají. No, what is this? This is the El Oro de Ecuador. Yeah, look at that bush of a plant. I'm very, very excited to see what this is going to do for me. You can see I do have some aphids on things here. I have recently made a garlic spray. That's why everything is kind of so shiny and glossy. Been spraying the plants at least once a day, hoping to, well, just kind of end the aphid wars. I'm not messing around anymore. What do we got here is the yellow scorpion. That's what we've got here. This was out front. Seems to have an awful lot of potential flower starts in there. So we will just see what comes of that. I'd like to see some new growth. Again, we've got the curling of the leaves like we see on that one ají penic in the hydroponics. So I do think that's just a deficiency of some kind. This billy goat here beside it has lost a lot of its original foliage, leaf coverage, but new growth, I'm thinking that's going to fill in pretty quickly. So this is a good opportunity for me to kind of trim it back. Probably will have done that by next week's video. One never knows though. So yeah. Then we've got what's under that new Mars Hydrolite that I've got. So yeah, prep your eyes for a big change in the light spectrum. Alright, and here we go. So this is under the Mars 480 or something like that. Used to be referred to as the Mars 96 because it's got like 96 little LEDs in it. This is on both growth and bloom, as I took the recommendation to just give these plants as much light as I can, and since they're not traditionally medicinal, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Peppers just want the light. Again, everything's kind of glossy because I've just sprayed it all down with the garlic for today. But we can see the M.A. Wartrix here. Seems pretty happy. Give it a good shake. Nothing's really fallen off. This habanero, this is one of the things I love the most about habanero peppers. We've got the first layer here where it's producing fruit, and then it's distinct out. New layer, it'll grow out, do it again. I'm really excited to see what this is going to do as a multi-year-old tree. Could be quite an interesting feature in the garden in future years. The devil's heart pepper back there seems to really be enjoying this particular light. The Carolina Reapers have stopped dropping leaves every time I touch them, so that's good. They might actually survive. Just transplanted a catmint I found growing outside. Watched the cat play with that. That was fascinating. Dude went nuts. Very entertaining. Here we have a weary pepper. This thing is a monster. Very hopeful for it. The Tabasco is definitely showing signs of new growth. This could be very exciting by next year. The 7-pot brain strain yellow. This thing is over a year old. It's so tiny. It has been so beat on, and yet it still survives. Gonna have to see what it can do. Gets twice the yellow tape, and look at that, just covered. Sticky traps apparently are worth the money. Oh, back here we have those two little tiny cloning experiments. You may remember these. They're like the shot glass size solo cups that I cut open in the bottom like I would for double cupping stuff, and stuff the clone in there. And that is a pretty nice, happy looking cutting. And so far, these are the most successful pepper clones I've had yet. So, I'll be trying that again, I think. Waiting to see some sign of roots first before I commit new cuttings to it. But yeah, I think it's going to go well. I think it's going to go well. Loving that habanero. So there you are. It's just kind of a quick look around at what's growing on this year. It looks like a really good start to the winter. I'm well, I'm really hopeful that I'm actually going to get a decent winter harvest out of what's growing on. So that'll be exciting. I clearly still need to rearrange things over under the fluorescence here so I can actually get around and, well, maintenance the plants a little bit better, I guess is the best way to put it. I can't even get to that one backside of the hydroponic garden, so that's just desperately needs to change. Yeah. Alright everybody, well thank you for watching. I do enjoy sharing what I've got growing here with all of you and hearing your feedback in the comments. So please, hit up your keyboard, hit that like, share, sub, all those fun little buttons, because hey, you know how long it's been since I threw in that cheesy tagline that every YouTuber does, right? So, yeah, there it is. I will see you guys next week. Have a fantastic week ahead, everybody.